my favorite figure this week. It was easy to predict, isn't it? Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix, this time around 28th of April to 3rd of May 2025, which is supposed to be a Golden Week holiday over in Japan. But what did we get instead? One of the busiest weeks of the year for figure pre-orders. Way too many figures to cover this week, where fortunately on the third party side, things are not as busy. But anyways, we are in for a long ride with today's figure pre-orders, and it is a very good week. Way too good in fact. But before I proceed, what is up with me and this box right next to me? Yes, this is kind of a teaser, and no, this is not my May haul figure purchase. I did not buy this. This figure was sent to me directly from Infinity Studio. Yay, free figure, which I will be reviewing. Yep. So, the surprise part is not about this figure. It is about a figure giveaway that is about to come. A pre-order giveaway to be exact. No, not this one. A figure that has not been released yet. So I'm waiting for that figure to officially pre-order open over in Japanese websites like AmiAmi and HLJ before I will even publish a review of this figure. Basically, when the figure gets released, someone will get one for free. Yep. So be on the lookout for my next figure review that involves a figure made by Infinity Studio or SSR figure. That is where I'll get the details on how to participate in this pre-order giveaway. Right, so teaser over. Now let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for the genuine figures on pre-order this week. And I have selected all of the scale figures I want to cover, starting off with 1x4 scales, which I think this is possibly the most unique week ever of figure pre-orders when it comes to specifically 1x4 scales. We have, I think, three 1x4 scales this week, and none of them are freeing bunnies, interestingly. The first one here, finally a licensed figure brand decided to do a 1x4 scale figure of Marin Kitagawa in not a bunny suit, but rather something we saw in the anime, such as this JK uniform over here. So coming from Prime 1 Studio, 1x4 scale premium master line, my dress up darling Marin Kitagawa can be yours for only 80,000 yen. If you're feeling poor, yep, there is the bunny version by Freeing or a number of other third parties. If you look at the big picture, then yes, this is just a bikini Marin Kitagawa. Is it bikini or is that undergarment? But anyways, just undergarment Marin Kitagawa with fabric outfit, which is indeed expensive at 80,000 yen, but we are talking about Prime 1 over here. And I have seen some comments from people saying that her face is a bit off. Well, she still looks very much like Marin Kitagawa, but yeah, something is slightly off. Maybe it is just a matter of viewing angle. I'm not sure. I think Prime 1 Studio has already done a fine job, but I don't think the corner of her mouth is a bit too... how do I describe it? It almost feels like looking at her forcing a smile rather than a natural one. Like, you know? Yeah. When there is an obvious indentation on the corners of your mouth while you smile, that means you're forcing the smile. It feels a bit that way, but there is also something else. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it can be fixed before the figure comes out, so hopefully it gets even better, but this is really just nitpicking at this point. Yep, as you can see, fabric outfit. The second 1x4 scale over here, I think Freeing is sick of me trash talking them almost every other week, and now they finally chose to shut me up by giving me a bunny suit, a bunny version figure that is not a bunny suit in a way. And yeah, congrats Freeing. I like this one a lot. Coming from Senran Kagura, 1x4 scale Asuka Japanese bunny version, 40,000 yen, April release next year. Yes, it is expensive compared to your usual bunny figure, but I would rather take this over a plain black bunny suit, a plain white or red bunny suit. I would take this. Yeah, a few extra 1,000 yen, sure. Is this customable? For Senran Kagura, usually the answer is yes. a mild cast off, which means only the top, not the bottom, right? And HLJ has marked this figure as 18 plus, so yep, I would say it is guaranteed to be customable for the top portion. Yep, the chest pieces over here, these two triangular pieces. Anyways, very nice free ink. I like this a lot, right? And we can expect a second character to follow, perhaps in the coming week or two. Of course, I don't remember her name, but this pair is incredibly beautiful. I have nothing to complain over here. So the one last thing free ink should get it right is their paintwork, and this would be perfect. Moving on to the third 1x4 skill, another unusual one, and this has to be the cheapest 1x4 skill that I could remember since the past year or so, I think. So coming from AmiAmi, Oyama Mahiro Knit T-shirt Try Adult Underwear by Medicos Entertainment. 22,000 yen only, December release. So yes, you get a fabric shirt once again, and I would imagine you need to remove her head in order to undress her. Yeah, there's no other ways to do it. And without the shirt on, she is wearing, bikini. So there is a picture over here, giving you a rough idea on the size of this statue. Not bad. Can I recommend this figure a wholehearted yes? So 22,000 yen for a bikini lolly figure with additional fabric shirt on top. 22,000 yen. Meanwhile, Fat Company, that washboard behind me right there, that thing does not have a fabric shirt. She is also a lolly in a bikini and also a 1x4 skill, 27,000 yen. You see the value offering over here with this Mahiro figure? Yeah. So you see these 3 1x4 skills this week, they are very different from the usual. Moving on to the next one here. Now we move on to 1x5 skill. Oh boy. So 1x5 skill Kohomiya and Otsuhane Fuwari as a set at 1x5, 45,000 yen by Dokiboki, February, release next year. Big yes. If this is your kind of thing, big yes, right? And if you have never heard of Dokiboki before, I don't blame you. A relatively new brand, though they have like 10, 12 figures by now. Not all of them are out, of course, but they have like less than 20 figures, And they have 2 other branches which you may have heard of, Figmon and Showmon. Figmon makes low-budget scale figures, and Showmon, basically, they do a safe-forward version of whatever figures that Dokiboki comes up with. That's the rough idea I get, but it is like there is no clear indication of which branch specializes in what other than Figmon being cheaper stuff. So it is a bit confusing, but Chinese brands, they love doing this. I mean, look at smartphones, right? OnePlus, Oppo, Vivo, they're all the same company. And now we have Nothing Phone and also a CMF Phone. They're all the same company. So Chinese brands, they love doing this kind of thing for reasons I don't understand why. Lots and lots of branches. The same thing we are seeing happening to anime figure brands. So this is the one you should get. 25,000 yen each or 45 for a pair. Of course, you go for a pair. And for those of you who want to play it safe because you are too afraid that the customs department, they will confiscate your stuff, then there is a safe forward version over here under Showmon instead of Dokiboki. 36,500 yen or 20k each. Around 20k, I think. Let me double check. 20,000 yen each, which doesn't make any sense. Go for the set. So even if you couldn't cast off this one, it still looks pretty good. But I believe that the reason why this version exists is for the domestic Chinese market. Because the domestic Chinese brands, they can't sell 18 plus figures to their people anymore. Of course, there will be those who try to circumvent any loopholes in the law, but in general, they can't do that anymore. So that is why you have the safe forward version over here, which is also offered to international customers, but I don't see a reason why you should go for this one. Moving on to the next one. Now we go into 1x6 skill, and we have an amazing Kani this week. 1x6 skill Oyasumi Okami Haino illustration by Hand Reader Deluxe Edition by a brand called VV5, which I have nothing to say, I know nothing about. But this is so cheap, 23,000 yen. And this is cast off herbal. That's the best part, isn't it? Yep, you can fully undress this figure. All of that for 23k, which means you're getting more than one figure in the box, like 1.5 figures in a way, making this a great value. Do I want it? Hell yeah, baby, I want it. This, putting aside the cast off feature, this is so adorable, this is so cute. Yeah, I kind of want it, that's the thing. Going for such a low price, I'm suspecting this is also a Chinese figure brand. I need to check out, I need to find out. Anyways, if this is proven to be a Chinese brand, it means that you don't have to overthink because they tend to be quite good. Like, it is rare to come across a Chinese brands that screw up as badly as some of the worst Japanese brands out there, which I want to bring up the name, other than Force Japan or Insights obviously, but yeah, I haven't seen Chinese brands screw up very badly. Yes, there will be a few brands that are slightly less consistent than the others, but in general, they don't mess up in a big way. Yeah. Moving up next, this has to be the most expensive 1x6 scale figure ever made by Vertex. In fact, I think this is Vertex's most expensive figure ever. Right? So, they have a new character over here, Vertex Originals Elf Village 15th Villager Milk Linde. Nice name. So this is 45,000 plus on HLJ, but you may want to get this figure on AmiAmi, even though she is way more expensive at almost 50,000 yen because you're getting exclusive parts. Yeah, the Antenna Shop limited edition parts, which includes an extra faceplate and perhaps a few more freebies inside the box. Not exactly free, you're paying for it, but go for the full set, right? You don't want to miss out on anything. So this is a figure where you want to get it on AmiAmi. And if you think this is too expensive, but you still love elves, guess what? We have a re-release over here, 12 Villager Lulunia, 30,000 yen, where merely a few hours after she pre-order opened, she has completely pre-order sold out in HLJ. If that isn't enough to convince you to get it, I don't know what is. Because Vertex, their Elf series is like among the best Elf figures out there. Yeah, they don't really have much competitors other than, you know, the 18 plus figure brands. And this entire set of Elf figures, they are outstanding. They are like pretty much S tier in quality. Yeah. Fortunately, you can still get this figure of Lulunia at AmiAmi Antenna Shop limited edition, 33,000 yen, which is where you should get it for the extra faceplate once again. So you'll see, sometimes I say that if there are extra bonus parts in the AmiAmi exclusive version, that is where you should go. But the HLJ version, which does not contain those parts, it still sold out anyway. Why? Two reasons. Number one is that HLJ is a smaller store than AmiAmi, so their inventory is also a bit smaller. Like how many pre-order slots they have is a bit lesser than AmiAmi. Number two, there are so many people out there who got banned from AmiAmi. Yes. Yeah, so they don't have a choice anyway. It is better to get the hands on the figure and miss out on some parts rather than not getting it at all. Alright, moving on to the next 1x6 skill, we have a few low budget figures. The first one here is a must pre-order. Bear Panda, 1x6 skill Nalan Si. Illustration by Bia. Bia art is as popular as ever, and all of this Chinese dress with some hairy stuff on it because some of you prefer it hairy rather than cleanly shaven. And that bonsai plant over there, whatever it is, all of this for 9,000 yen. This is a pair of sets with another Chinese dress figure that was kind of similar that went on pre-order sometime last year and coming out later this July. So there are like a set. If you pre-ordered that one, then you'll want this one. If you missed out the previous one, well, I don't think she'll be too rare after release as long as you act fast enough. Yeah. So 1/6, all of this once again for 9k. Damn. Amazing value. The next low budget figure comes from Supernova, 1/6 skill. Also a Bia Art party dress series Yuna. Oh, the same Yuna. The 1/4 skill by Bear Panda. Is it the same Yuna? Looks like it to me. Face is a bit different though. 7,200 yen, releasing in March. Let me have a closer look at the face. Oh, two different face plates. Wow, this is pretty. I think I prefer this face over the smiling one. She looks a lot more classy in a way. Yeah. I'm not too worried. I'll get her after release from Taobao. Yeah, I'm not too worried about pre-ordering these too early, but damn. This year, 2025, could be the year where I review more Chinese figures than Japanese figures because I'm so intrigued by them and they're so affordable, so why not, right? Okay, moving on to the next affordable figure. Wow. So this is art by Gugudo. You won't want to miss out on this. Coming from Fingal Toy, Rabbi Love It version, 1/6 skill, just under 7,000 yen, releasing next February. I like this so much, man. This is my kind of thing. Once again, you get some fabric parts around the arms. Some of you have mentioned that you are afraid they'll become stained and dirty over time. Guess what? Don't touch your figures after jacking off. Then it won't be a problem. And of course, close them in your Detolf or an enclosed casing, right? I'm not sure if I should pre-order this early because it is Gugudo art. There are low budget figures out there that went up in value after release. Yeah, the Animaster Florence figure, which is on my shelf right there, that is one of them. That one is over 12,000 yen now in Japan, even though in China it is like 7,000 yen equivalent. So just because it is a low budget figure, it does not mean the value won't go up. Yeah, it could happen. Really don't have much else to say other than hoping or wishing for this figure being customable. Alright, moving on to the next one here. Another low budget figure. Two versions. The deluxe version here by Kawa Design made Nyahime Mao Keke. Deluxe edition, December release for 7,000 yen. Damn it, man. All four of them I want. So what do you get for the deluxe version? That bucket and broom over there, which is not available in the standard version or regular version, 6,000 yen. Yep, I would go for the deluxe one just to get those props. I love props that comes with anime figures. I would really love to show you the real view, but I can't over here, not on YouTube. Alright, moving on to the next one. Okay, this is one of the saddest figures this week. I'm sorry, Kaitendo, but it is what it is. Symphogear. Is that 15, right? Yeah, 15. Chris Yukine swimsuit version, 1/6 skill, 18,000 yen only. Now, I have no idea if this figure is resin or PVC because some Kaitendo figures are resin. But this is, how do I describe it? It looks sad. It looks like a very low detail figure, even for 18,000 yen. But at least you do get a lot of extra parts over here. Yes. So can change the pose and the face as well. So you're getting like 1.5 figures for 18k, not too bad. Just that, yeah, the figure is pretty low detail. I wish that they would do a better job on the One Piece swimsuit over there because you go and check out any swimsuit figures that, yeah, wear a very similar kind of swimsuit. Any of them made by Amakuni or even what other brands I can think of. Mainly Amakuni, right? For example, the Arms Note series, in case you're familiar with. For example, maybe Bucho-san, was it Kohai or Bucho-san? I can't remember. From Arms Note made by Amakuni. Yeah, simple school style swimsuit. I think there are 2 or 3 different color versions of that. You look at the way they paint the waist region, the muscle tones and everything, how they weather it, right? So I wish that Kaitendo would put in more effort with the body of the figure. Yeah, similar to what Amakuni did. But Amakuni is like setting a very high bar. They they are an A tier figure company when they don't screw up. Well, Kaitendo is more like a B minus or a C plus. That's a high tier to aim for a brand like this. Anyways, I can't say I recommend this one, except for those of you hardcore Sympho gear fans. Moving on to the next one, 1/6 scale, Rurouni Kenshin. Okay, this is by Belfine, normally 27k, you can have him for 25k. October release this October very soon. I remember this one very well from One Fest, but I wasn't expecting this to be a 1/6. Has Belfine even made 1/6 before? I don't think so, right? Maybe they used to many years ago, but not in recent memory. And this may be Belfine we are talking about, which is not the best brand out there, but this is very convincing. It looks really nice. I would give this a chance if you ask me to choose between this one and a Figo Arts Zero by Bandai, because this is huge. 1/6 for 25k, I would give this a chance, yeah. Moving up next, we have my favorite figure this week. It was easy to predict, isn't it? I'm a big fan of Nikke, and this Dorothy Deluxe Edition figure by Hobby Sakura coming at under 26,000 yen is a must-have for all Goddess of Victory Nikke fans. Full stop. I will pre-order one. I haven't done so yet, but I will before pre-order closes. Just that I'm not sure whether to get the deluxe one or the standard one. Like, I'm not a World Scroll collector, so yeah, maybe I'll save my 2,000 yen over there and allocate that budget to shipping instead. So, Hobby Sakura, will you guys do a 1/4 scale version of this? I'm afraid they might do that in the near future, you see? A 1/4 version, same exact figure, but 1/4 version. Anyways, not everyone has the space, so yeah, pre-order it while you still have the chance. Because some Nikke figures, especially the ones by Hobby Sakura, they actually became a bit rare and expensive after release, even in Taobao. So if you think you can get it cheaper in China after release, well, not for Nikke. Yes, I think Furio has a couple of Nikke figures that are already out, and those bargain binned slightly over in China's Taobao because it is Furio. Number one, they overproduce their stuff. Number two, sometimes their quality control is a bit shady. Yeah, so no surprise those two bargain binned. But for Nikke figures by Hobby Sakura, the value actually went up after release over in China's Taobao. Not even the China side is being spared. So this is a character or figure where you'll want to pre-order early. Moving on to the next one, we have a few Azur Lane figures. The first one is No Shiro Uncharted Festival Grounds version by Apex Toys. 22,000 yen only, July release. Great value, man. I love Noshiro, like she is my kind of girl, my kind of character design. Maybe because she reminds me of Shuten Doji a bit from FGO, yeah. I think my opinion still stays. My favorite Noshiro figure is still the one by Pony Canyon, but that one is super expensive now in the aftermarket. So this is not a bad compromise if you want a figure of her. And Apex Toys, they are almost guaranteed to deliver a good quality. Yep. Looks like we're getting furry Harry stuff again. It is becoming a trend nowadays. Yeah. Moving up to the next one, we have... Wait, what is her name again? What? Made for Mayhem? She does have a name, right? Anyways, this is made by Elegant, only 17,000 yen. July release, July 2026, by the way. Yeah. Elegant, I really like their San Luis that has just been released a few months ago. I really like that one. And that one is really trading blows with Alter. Of course, Alter will have a slight edge, but Elegant is also making great stuff. So, yeah, you don't have to think twice. You can go for it. This is so cheap. Her name is Kashino, right? You see, I know almost nothing about Azur Lane except for a few characters where I always remember their name because they are so famous, they're everywhere, and so many figure brands make their figures. This is Kashino. It has to be her, and what is up with that missing name in the title? The next Azur Lane figure here, Theseus New Year's White Plumage version, 1/6 by Anigame, 20,000 yen only, April release. It is interesting that this figure is more complex than Then a few other figures by AmiGame. They're all 1/6 by the way, but this one is only 20k. Wow. As usual, AmiGame makes you wait quite long for their figures, but they're often worth it. Of course, their figures are not as detailed as, Alta's version, but I think that is not their aim. They are aiming for value for collectors, and they certainly do a great job in this regard. That KFC is everywhere in almost every Azur Lane figure I've seen so far that comes with additional props. Moving on to the next one, we have Tsubasa Kido from Preorder, 1/7 skill. This is by Alice Glint, 25,500 yen, February release, February next year. Is this like some eroge? Because you know what, the character design seems like classic eroge character to me. I'm just guessing here, right? I'm not much of a Japanese gamer. So yeah. I don't know what to say because I know nothing about this series at all. And then the next one here, Reno Ibaraki from the same series, 24,500 yen, March release next year by Alice Glint as well. All I can tell you is Alice Glint, their figures are great. I have no problems recommending them, but I know nothing about this title Preorder. These two figures are from One Fest a few months back. Moving on to the next one, Emilia, she belongs to the garbage bin compared to Ram, isn't it? Like, I'm not sure what is up with this meme. Is it still popular today? For me, I'm quite impartial. Like, I don't care if Ram or Emilia is my waifu. Given the choice, I don't really care. I'm just playing along with the memes I see online. So this version is by Kadokawa, 24,500 yen combat outfit version, December release. Well, must be based on some light novel cover art, isn't it? It looks nice for sure. It looks nice, and I think the best part about this figure is the face. There's something really attractive about the face over here. Kadokawa's figures are fine, just that, Kadokawa, it is like they outsource their figures to so many different factories, so sometimes you see a very big disparity in a way. Some of the figures look really good while others are lacking in detail. The quality control is pretty consistent in general, but some of them look more detailed than the others. This one is on the detailed side. Moving on to the next one. Oh, damn. So we have Sylphiat Grey Rat, Change of Clothes mode by Q-Skill, 17,000 yen, November release. I know, we all wish that this is customable, isn't it? Yeah. And Rudius Grey Rat seems to love his Petan waifus somehow. A big difference from his ancestors. His granddad loved big titties, but he went for all the flat ones. This is 17k only, coming from a brand that makes very good figures, Q-Skill. If you love Sylphiat, maybe a yes, go for it. It is on the bland side of things. It is a bit boring to look at, but hey, I would still go for it. I mean, if I am a big fan of Sylphiat, will I get this? Yup. Because this is so photogenic to me. I mean, imagine a laundry model, right? Posing for a photographer, Victoria's Secret, something like that. The model's posing for photograph. That is what I can imagine when I'm looking at this figure over here. So yes, I would get this solely for photographing the figure if I had the chance. Moving on to the next one here, we have a 10th Ryza from Atelier Wrestleriana. Academy version by Medicos, 21,000 yen, December release. Well, we had too many Ryza figures, but this has to be the first one where she appears 10th from a different game, right? Atelier Wrestleriana. Medicos Entertainment is around the middle of the pack in my figure company rankings, around rank B. They have their occasional KOC issues, but I wouldn't worry too much. Like, if I see them making something I really want that no one else is making, I would go for it. Like, they are also making a Karma figure from FGO. Yeah, I would buy that. I don't care what their history is like, what their past figures is like. Because every company, they tend to get a bit better over time, right? So just because a figure company was a bit trashy 5 years ago, it doesn't mean they are very bad today. Yeah. And this Ryza here is the only 10th Ryza figure I know of so far. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here, 1x7 scale low budget figure Widow Kire Deluxe Edition by Siki Anim. One day I will review the figure. I haven't bought anything from them yet. A Chinese brand that is relatively new. They have a few figures out already. And yeah, you can ask for feedback from the people who bought their figures. They are in my Discord server. They shared the pictures. So yeah. This one we will see. I kind of like the character design on this. And this deluxe edition is 9,000 yen, while the standard one without the war scroll is 8k December release. Moving up to the next one, we have 1x7 scale R3 pajama version. Okay, this anime ended like a season ago, right? And now they are making a figure. Interesting. Like, this is so atypical of Hobby Sakura. I won't expect them to make something like this, but they did. Wow. So Aniplex has a scale of her. A bit more expensive, I think. Not yet out. This one looks a bit different from the Aniplex one. I think the Aniplex one is a bit closer to how she looks like in the anime. This feels like an artwork version, like some manga or LN art. Not necessarily bad, just different. 16k is really cheap though. Yeah. Okay, moving up to the next one here. Furio has a 1x7 scale Mahiru Shina Relax version. Man, this character refuses to die. Yeah, it was a seasonal anime last year. There were quite a few figures of her already, but a lot of them were made by Furio. Now we get another version at 20,000 yen, February 2026 release. Some people said the anime was really wholesome, which I agree, but to me, it was also really boring at the same time. Well, not my kind of figure. This is something that those of you have really strict parents at home that you can't even have a swimsuit figure on display. Yeah, this is for you. Moving on to the next one here, we have two Blue Archive figures. The first one is Plana, one of the flattest characters in the game, I think. From Golden Head, 21,500 yen, November release. Okay, so this is nice. But at the same time, yeah, the pose is based on like the official character art, so it is boring AF to look at. But Golden Head makes great figures, and I can already see some really nice shading on the paintwork. This could be worth getting. Just that, you know, like short character, lolly character at 1/7, this has to be a small figure, so 21,000 yen is starting to feel a bit expensive. But I really love the paintwork on her hair and even her coat. It is not immediately obvious, but I see a slight weathering on the coat over there. Ah, an extra faceplate. Okay. Are there any other Plana figures out there? Scale figures? Did Good Smile make one, like swimsuit version? I can't remember. I think they did, right? Yeah, this is worth having. You see Arona, right, by Golden Head as well. That one is getting a re-release. Yeah, that Blue Archive Ram, as I call her, that one is pretty popular. She sold out and became rare, and they had to re-release her. I predict that the same thing would happen to this figure. Yeah. Moving on to the next Blue Archive. This is a re-release Wakamo from Blue Archive by Neon Max at 1/7 scale, 24,000 yen, November release. Not surprised at all. So this figure, when she came out, the value stayed high. Like, she maintained her official MSRP for so many months. And then after that, as the stocks decline, the values started going up. It does not matter whether it is AmiAmi, or in Japan, or even in China's Taobao, she became very expensive. At one point, she was over 30,000 yen equivalent in Taobao. And now she's finally getting a re-release. Yeah, not surprised at all. I pre-ordered the Good Smile version, the swimsuit version, because I really like that one. This one, I'm still uncertain if I would pick up one. Yeah, but who knows? I'll wait until after release. I'll take my chances with this one. Moving on to the next one, another re-release, Chucky from Kotobukiya, 16,000 yen, November release. Well, Kotobukiya Bishoujos, they have their own fans, but not really my thing. Chucky, like, you know, I've seen the actual doll before being sold in a local toy store. I was like, that is so creepy. Yup, this faceplate over here, it wouldn't be Chucky without it, isn't it? Right, moving on to the next one. 1/7 scale Kaworu Nagisa version Radio Eva Part 3 by Hobbymax, 18,500 yen. July release, and of course there is a second version where he appears to be almost black and white in color, but there are some red color accents over there. 19,000 yen more expensive. July release. This July. Not... Is it this? Oh no. Next July. My bad. July 2026. Okay. I have one very simple advice. Do not pre-order. This will be half price 3 months after release, I guarantee you. Yes. Every Radio Eva figure that has been released to date, they bargain bin like crazy. 30 to 50% off. So don't pre-order this one. Moving on to the next one, Madoka Kaname Kimono version, re-released by Furyu. Wait, this came out before? How come I don't remember this figure? This came out before. Okay, 20k is nice though. I love the kimono, man. Of course, I have not seen the figure in person. I need to go to MFC and have a look at the user pictures. If this has come out before, if the kimono is nearly anywhere as great looking as these pictures, then yes, I can recommend it. Because Furyu is pretty inconsistent, that's the thing. And then moving on to the next one. Oh, we don't have Homura for that kimono version. Okay, maybe next week. So this is Madoka Kaname from Cyber Agent, otherwise known as E-Stream in the past. 30,000 yen only. I find it hard to believe that this E-Stream figure is 30,000 yen only. Maybe the figure is smaller than expected and coming out in May next year. Golden Egg. It looks fantastic though. Should you get it? Perhaps yes. Because E-Stream, their figures, I don't really have much problems with them. They are not perfect. I really liked their Lancer Ultra figure. I still have it today. But yeah, their girls' frontline figures were a bit you know, not that great. But those were cheaper as well. This one might turn out really good. Maybe go for it, right? E-Stream in general is one of the higher tier figure brands out there. And of course, we also have Homura Akemi in the same golden egg for 30k, May release next year. Wow. If I were to state my unpopular opinion right here, right now, I have never been a fan of this series. Like, I never liked the character designs at all. Yeah. Over so many years of collecting anime figures, I have never bought a scale figure from Puella Magi Madoka at all. Right, moving on to the next one. This is Non-Scale Girls Frontline Neural Cloud Willow by Union Creative. 24,000 yen December release. I really like the fact that she is holding a camera because I love cameras. Very expensive hobby, I tell you. Photography is incredibly expensive. The very fact that she's holding a camera alone makes me want the figure. Well, Union Creative, it can go either way, but my prediction for this one, I don't think she'll become rare. I don't think so. Maybe it is worth waiting until after release. Oh, she is a journalist. Press, I see. Alright, moving on to the next one. This is a re-release of Kotobukiya Art FXJ Goro Akechi Phantom Thief version. 13,000 yen only, November release. You know, this figure looks so terrible by today's standards that I would rather Kotobukiya redo the figure. Like a new sculpt, a new figure, completely from zero, start over. This looks like a figure that belongs to the late 2000s or so. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. This has to be Kotobukiya's most underwhelming pre-orders in recent months. Moving on to the next one. Okay, finally, Pop-Up Parade. We have Tomori Takamatsu L size from Bang Dream. I haven't tried watching the anime yet. There were anime adaptations actually, and I heard that the music, the songs are really good, right? But I haven't tried it yet. By Good Smile, 8,000 yen, October release. Well, it looks pretty good for a Pop-Up Parade L. Once again, I would love to see whether Good Smile gets it right for the paintwork on the final details on her jacket over here. Moving on to the next Pop-Up Parade, we have 3 L-size figures from K-On! Ritsu Tainaka, 8,000 yen. Sumugi Kotobuki L-size, 8,000 yen. And Azusa Nakano, 8,000 yen. All 3 are coming out this December. When I covered Yui, right, and Mio a few weeks back, my recommendation was to hunt for the altar ones, which have bargain bins like insane by now. I'm not sure if you can find them new, but a pre-owned one is only, just a few thousand yen, like 5,000 yen, 6,000 yen, sometimes can find one, which means they are cheaper than these Pop-Up Parade Ls, but quality is way better. Yeah. Even if they are pre-owned, so if the condition is good, I would say go for it. So K-On! Was immensely popular around year 2010 to 2012. And then, back then, everyone was spamming figures from this anime. And as is the case with many anime, their popularity fell. And along with that, the market value of the figures, right? So I have no idea why Good Smile is choosing to make K-On! Figures now in year 2025. Maybe because the risks are pretty low, or there are still fans out there who want new stuff. But regardless, I would say you don't have to pre-order these, wait until after release, then decide whether you want to get them. In the meantime, look for the ones by Alter. Okay, moving on to the next one here, Pop-Up Parade Kana Sakuragi L size from Magilumia, 8,000 yen, October release. This is like my whole shoujo stuff, isn't it? It was a seasonal anime, but I haven't got the time to watch it. You see the red, the blue, the white. It is just plain, no shading. But this also reminds me of Gundam colors. Moving up to the next Pop-Up Parade L. Okay, no, this is not L, my bad. Smile Value 2025 Pop-Up Parade Sakura Miku Hanami outfit version, 6,000 yen, November release. I really wish that this is a Pop-Up Parade L. Yeah. They should have made this in L, because this is a pretty Miku figure. This is very nice. They bothered to give this one a nice base, you see. So many Pop-Up Parade figures get ugly bases, but this one gets a nice one. Moving up next, we have another Hatsune Miku Yumekawa Princess Lavender version by Tenitol, or Full Ryu, 5,600 yen, November release. Okay, so what are your thoughts on this version of Miku? I do find it very attractive, like a very different vibe, very different kind of Miku, but at the same time, this looks like something that the anime core people would pay $300 for no reason. Yes. If you want one, maybe pre-order it early, because I'm afraid something like that could happen. Those people would artificially inflate the aftermarket value of it just because it looks a bit retro or cutesy. I don't even know what this anime core thing is, but based on the pictures I've seen from collectors, they are the kind of people who would artificially inflate the value of old plastic, which are already turning yellow for no good reason. They would pay, like $200, $300 for a 20-year-old Lucky Star figure. Yeah, and this Miku over here, the design choices over here, I think she would fit in those kind of figures. So maybe, pre-order early. That is a precaution you can take if you like her. Moving on to the next one here, Kaguya-sama Love is War, Canterville I Hayasaka by Cyber Agent, 5,400 yen, December release. This is pretty random, but looks quite nice for a low budget scale figure. So Canterville is the pop-up parade equivalent of Cyber Agent or Eastream. So now they see that many other brands are doing low budget figures. They want in as well. So their product line is called Canterville. And what? 2 faceplates? Oh, no. It is the same faceplate. Alright. 5,400 yen could be worth it if she turns out good. And the last figure today on HLJ would be this Fix Detective Conan figure from Freeing, 3,000 yen January release. This is so random. So if you are a very new figure collector, maybe you have just started just a year, 2 years, or even 3 years ago, you may have never heard of Fix before. Fix used to be under Max Factory, but there were a few figures that were made by Freeing. Basically, it is the scale figure version of Figmas. 1x12 scale figures. They are around the same size as Figmas. You can display them next to each other and they would blend in nicely. And they were slightly cheaper than Figmas, like 20-30% cheaper. To me, this product line never made much sense because, you know, they are small in the first place and they are not that much cheaper compared to Figmas. And most people who collect scale figures, what do they want? They want details, they want size. And Fix as a concept just doesn't work because it is way too small to have much details on, right? So yeah, why we release a Detective Conan today? It is so random, I have no clue at all. Moving on to AmiAmi, we have a lot of exclusives this week. Starting off with Alter. So after 3 weeks of being nice to everyone, they are back with AmiAmi exclusive. That was exactly why I was reluctant to make this AmiAmi exclusive thing as a title of any of my videos because I don't think that would last. Okay, so this is Algerie from Azur Lane, 44,000 yen, releasing in May 2026, and boy, this is massive. Hot damn. Is this like their flagship figure for year 2026? Must be, right? This thing is insane, but they have done this before. They have done this many times. What is insane, right, about this figure is that even the standard version is almost 30,000 yen. Now, let me ask you, how is this worth 30,000 yen? Just because you are one of the best brands in the business, it does not mean you get away with no criticisms from me. Now, I feel that this is overpriced at 30,000 yen. I think 25 or 26k would be the maximum. 30 is too much, yes. So either you go all out for the 44,000 yen version or you don't buy at all and wait until after release. I don't think the value would go up for the standard version. Of course, the deluxe version, it could go anyway. It could go up, it could go down. But for the standard version, really, I don't see the value going up. So maybe wait if you want the standard version because you couldn't afford the deluxe one. The next AmiAmi exclusive, damn you, Koi, Chinese figure brand. Now, I want this so bad. I never thought that maid apron outfit with swimsuit would look so good together. I want this so bad. Shiori competition swimsuit made 1x6 scale, 9,000 yen, releasing in November. This November. Oh, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Yeah, I don't care about AmiAmi slapping an exclusive tag on this one because I'll get her off Taobao. I want this one. This is my kind of thing. Oh. This is one of those figures where you can say flag is justice. Moving on to the next one here, another AmiAmi exclusive, Blue Archive Izuna by Wing, 26,000 yen, January 2026 release. Now, Wing Company, they do come out with really nice stuff every once in a while, and then the figure goes on to bin after release. I have no idea why. Their figures aren't all that bad, right? But I've seen many of the figures go for really cheaply in China for reasons I don't quite understand. I've reviewed one Azur Lane figure of theirs. It was okay. Like, there were barely any major flaws I could find, and I couldn't understand why that figure went down from like 17, 18,000 yen down to half price. No idea at all. But Blue Archive, I'm not sure on a Blue Archive figure binning, so pre-order it if you want her. Has there been any Blue Archive figures that binned at like 50% before? I don't think I've seen any happen yet. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. AmiAmi exclusive. Aogiri VTuber High School Etra Limited Edition. 27,000 yen. This is so bloody expensive, but it is to be expected from Amakuni. November 2025 release. What are we getting for 27,000 yen, man? What bonus items do we get? Let me have a look. B2 Wall Scroll. Okay. If I were to get this figure, I ain't paying for the Wall Scroll. So, 23,000 yen will do for me. That is one expensive Wall Scroll. Damn. I love the figure. That backside is worth slapping. Nice. But, 5,000 yen. Yeah, 4 or 5,000 yen for a Wall Scroll. Damn. Moving on to the next AmiAmi exclusive. Well, it is not an exclusive, but indirectly it is at the same time because Amakuni stuff, right? Hobby Japan exclusive. Bomber Girl Pine Succubus cheer costume version. 26k December release. I have always loved Bomber Girl designs, but until today, I don't have a single figure yet from this line. No, that Mesugaki face over there, I have always loved it so much. Yes. Moving up next, another Nacho Neko figure. Is this like the third one by Fuvio? Can't remember, but they have made one before, at least one. This one is not an exclusive, but at the time of recording, not yet available on HLJ. Nacho Neko new outfit version 1/7, 21,000 yen, March 26 release. 21k for this now. I think this could be cheaper. I'm just being a cheapskate, but this doesn't look that, not that detailed or not that sophisticated to worth an over 20,000 yen asking price. Maybe wait until after release. A lot of full view scale figures they've been after release, like a lot of them. Moving up next, we have Kadokawa, KD Call, Asuna. Okay, this is a special set, 32,000 yen. What do we get with the special set? Okay, B2 fabric poster. Yeah, paying a premium for a fabric poster once again. The standard version is 27,000 yen almost. Why does this feel like a Chinese New Year figure to me? Like the design of the outfit. And why is there a split line in the middle of the base? Is it? I mean, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor. What is this line over here? Yeah, small details like that, they catch my attention. Even if it is just a very small portion of the picture, I see it. Well, Asuna has many choices out there. You don't necessarily need to get this one. Check out the ones that are currently in stock. When moving on to the next one, not yet on not yet on HLJ, but guess what? I want one. Oh, this is smoking hot. Okay, Succubus Class President Reina illustration by Ban, 1/6 scale, 6,200 yen, 6,300 yen. Damn. This thing is too good to be under 7,000 yen. Whew. So release date is April 2026. You see, I have lost track. I need to bookmark all of this in my MFC account, but I haven't done so for the past few months. And then more than often, when I see the figure suddenly in stock, oh yeah, this was the one I wanted back then. So yeah, grab it if you like her. I think this is worth having. Animaster, they have done nothing bad. Like I've reviewed many figures from them by now, right? Not many, but 4 to 5, I think that is many. And every single one of them, they got really high praises from me. So yep, go for it. And the last figure here is a binding, 1/4 scale. Over in their age restricted section, there were nothing new this week. But this one is on the front page. Kitsune Cafe Konkon Donuts Sumire Kurosawa. Yes, this is fully customable. 42,000 yen, December 2025 release. This is a pair with a similar figure from last week, so you need both as a set, right? And binding, well, they are kind of like hit or miss, right? Some of the figures, they screw up a little, but they tend to hold on their value regardless. So if you like her, maybe pre-order it. And our last stop for genuine figures this week, yep, Nin game for Insight figures. 4 of them this week. The first one is NTR Wife. Yes. Maiko Saejima 1/6 scale, 20,000 yen. Or a 1/4 at 33k. Both are releasing in November. The last two would be this erotic ghost encyclopedia, Jiangshi Maoshun. Okay, the normal version over here is 22k at 1/5. And the other one here, the only literal difference is another purple color piece of cloth around her legs. Why does this have to be 2 separate figures? I have no idea. Just give us an extra faceplate and an extra leg in the box for slightly more money. Yeah. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. I keep accidentally closing a tab because there are so many tabs on top, so many figures to cover, and we are over an hour in and I have not yet touched the third party section. So let's check out the third parties this week. Not too many. I'm going to speed them through as quickly as possible. The first one here, okay, we have like 5 or 6 Anya figures. This is on OshGK, our affiliate partner. And if you want to buy or pre-order anything on OshGK or HLJ, please do make use of my links down in the description below. And that is how you support this channel. The first one here, I wouldn't bother with this. Anya plays games. Yeah, she loves her games. $92 each, different color. This looks like ice cream to me for some reason. Nah, this is not nice. Moving on to the next Anya figure. Anya Cos Rale. Is this from Dragon Ball or something? Yeah, I know nothing about this shonen stuff, so enlighten me please. $111 because of the UFO over there. Not a fan of it either. No release date yet. The next Anya here, ZH Studio, they make amazing Anya figures. If you insist on buying this kind of figures, I've just covered them briefly in an upload last week, like just a few days ago. So this is Ghost Anya Forger. Yep, the Pokemon crossover. This looks really good. $111. So there's a white color version. Oh, and a primary color. This ghost thing, whatever his name is, I don't know the name of Pokemons. I'm more familiar with the purple color one, but this white color version, there is more color contrast. It makes the whole figure looks more colorful. So this is what I would go with if I had to choose. The next Anya figure here, CR Studio, they make great Anya figures as well. This is cosplaying Uchiha Itachi from Naruto, right? Yep. Black hair, right? Black color version. This looks kind of badass for some reason. Let's have a look. Yeah, she looks kind of badass for some reason, man. Actually, the $109 for this is not bad. Yeah. And this is coming out, no release date again. The next Anya over here, this is also pretty good, but I've never heard of Zhouxiang Studio. Uchiha Sasuke. $109. Once again, you get to choose between black hair and pink hair. Okay, this is pretty good. This is the kind of crossover figures that you will never see any genuine brands make because of copyright and license issues. It is always possible to do a collab, but on this frequent basis, like literally every week you see a crossover like this, not possible. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, now we move into One Piece territory. We have Yamato cosplaying as Bulbasaur, so random, from Super Goai Studio. Okay, big size is $228, small size $109. So what is the scale of the big size version? 47 cm, damn, that is taller than 1/4 scale figures. Alright, and then moving on to the next one here, we have 3 Boa Hancock figures. The first one is by Reset Studio, my favorite among the 3. And this is available in black, purple, or white. Must be the dress, right? Okay, let's just go for the pictures over here. Oh, we get LEDs. For $180, that is not bad at all. Yeah, this looks great. And the face, no problem. I think her face looks accurate as well. The next Boa Hancock here, this is, too realistic. And this looks like a human cosplayer cosplaying as her. So no, not my thing. Coming from Temple Angel Atelier Studio. Why so long, the name? $484 and 1x4 scale fabric outfit, which means customable. March 2026 release. Yep, not a fan. So, there are other 1x4 scale Boa Hancock figures out there that cost below $400. So, do try to look out for those. I mean, to search around in OzGK, you might come across a few. So, this one I can't really recommend, but once again, it is just purely not to my taste, right? Not a fan of these realistic conversions. And the third Boa Hancock over here doesn't look very nice as well, from Bright Studio. Pajamas Boa Hancock coming out this July, 1x7 scale. $105. This face over here, yep, there's one more problem right there. One of the less attractive Boa Hancock faces I've seen. I'm not sure what is wrong. Yeah, it looks a bit off to me. Okay, moving up next, we have Hourglass Studio AmiAmi from Neon Genesis Evangelion. What? There are several versions of here. Version 8 is $228. Oh, this is like semi-realistic face from the looks of it, but very nice. Version B, okay, I don't like this one. Kind of photogenic, right? Summer dress has always been very photogenic and set to get both for $378. If I had to choose, yeah, I would go for the plug suit, naturally. The face is a bit dark. Okay, from this angle, her face looks really good. Nice. Alright. And up next, we have Asuka from SL Studio. White version is going for $97 only. 1x6 scale, $97 only. Interesting. Red version is $97. You can get both for $159. What? That would mean $80 each. $80 for 1x6 scale, guys. Yes, it is not the most detailed Asuka figure I've seen. Shading on the hair is lacking. The plug suit, same thing, but $80, man. The face, I think this is up for debate, right? It is a bit different from the Asuka, I know, but not bad looking at the same time. Yeah, it is a bit different, but $80. Damn. Up next, we have Ada Wong from Resident Evil by FG Studio. 1x3 scale, $729, no release date yet. Okay, this is a really good statue of her. This looks really nice. Oh, action figure. Oh, that is hot. Okay, I think $729 is acceptable for 1x3 scale. This is basically a Dolphy, right? I think even a BJD doll or a Dolphy Dream is around this price nowadays. 500 plus is the minimum. Yeah, and they could go 4 digits easily. Alright. Moving up next, we have a 1x4 scale Makima from Hera Studio. $289 only. Yep, $289 at 1.4, but at the same time, very simple figure. That's the thing, right? Not much details. Face-wise, very nice. This could be worth considering. At least it is not a bunny figure, you know? I think adding a bit of blood splashes on her white shirt would make the figure perfect. Yes, just a little bit more of missing details right there. Just some blood splashes, and this would be perfect for $280 to $90. Coming out in August, very soon. Moving up next, we have, TY Studio, 3 weeks in a row with Inuyasha figures. Rin and Jaken, $128 only. Coming out this December. And as usual, they have a really good photographer. Their photos look amazing. Ooh. They probably make the best looking Inuyasha figures right now. With the genuine stuff, you only get the pop upgrades. Yeah. And I think Proof has the scale figures, which were like around 22,000 yen each. I'm not sure if they are worth it. I would take my chances with a third party like this. Moving on to the next one from Neoz Studio and Black Studio, we have Osaki Nana from Nana. Man, this is old. A classic. Okay, 1x6 scale, $165, September 2025 release. It is not like you guys have a choice. Nana was pretty popular back then. I think it was a manga, right? Yeah, a classic. Simple figure. I think my problems with the pose, right? The pose is too simple, but $165 is starting to feel a bit expensive. But you do get two face plates anyways, so yeah, give or take, I guess. Moving up next, we have, oh wow, NTR Studio Uzaki and her mom, Family Time. This reminds me of a H anime where both the mom and the daughter are, yeah, always looking for big D's. I can't remember the title. So this one is around $180 each. I can get a set for $339, which is the better value, obviously. And I know there are a few of you out there who like stuff like this. Don't lie to me. Is it worth getting it? Yeah, perhaps. If you like stuff like this. Not my kind of thing though. Cultured figures. Up next, we have Crystal Senton Studio. Damn, Luis from Zero no Tsukaima. I loved this anime back then when I watched it in college. This is quite a classic anime. Not as classic as Evangelion or Dragon Ball from the 1990s, of course, but this was from around mid or late 2000s, I think. 4 seasons. I do highly recommend you guys watching it as long you don't mind watching an anime featuring domestic violence, because back then tsundere is synonymous with domestic violence in some way. The girl would be constantly beating the crap out of the guy just because she is being caught flat, but she actually likes the guy. Yeah. You know, tsundere is cute, but only in anime. In real life, you do not want to deal with any woman who behaves that way. Anyways, I'm not the kind who clings onto the past a lot, so I may have liked the anime 10-15 years ago, the character as well, but by today, I'm fine without it, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing. You fall out of love with some anime or games over time, right? That's why the market value of some figures been, because people lose interest. Alright, moving on to the next one from Tofo Figure Studio, we have Dead Alive Miku Izayoi. This is a 1/7 scale, non-scale on paper, but their figures tend to be at 1/7 scale territory. The same thing with the other releases. So this is a pretty expensive, $265 because of everything included over here, including the base, and coming out this December. Okay, so Tofo Figure is one of those few rare third parties that make stuff that are not just Azur Lane or Blue Archive or the popular titles today. They have a lot of FGO figures, and now they go for one of the less common Dead Alive characters, Miku. Yes, there are not many scale figures of her. So it might be worth considering, and she would blend in nicely with your existing 1/7 scale PVC figures of Kurumi, which you may have many of them. Yes, that's the thing. It is expensive. Very expensive. $265, right? That is over 30,000 yen in Japanese yen for 1/7 scale. But yeah, stuff are not bad, so that is all up to you. Moving up next, we have Genshin Impact Molani from COD Studio at 1/6 scale, $306. For the version you're seeing on screen, there is a version B, but no prototype yet, only a CGI render. But this one looks good, right? And yeah, $300+ is expensive for everything included here, but I think you can see why. Just that this kind of pose is so overdone. I know at least 2 or 3 other PVC figures with a very similar pose, but in a float instead of on a shark like this. Now, I have one small problem over here with her face. What do you think about her face? It feels like her eyes are a little bit too big. A little. And as a result, it also looks like her eyes are a little bit too close to one another. At least it feels that way to me. But overall, it is still pretty. Yes. Or her character is indeed like this. I'm not too sure. Yeah, but it feels a little bit off to me for some reason. Overall, this is still a very pretty figure, man. Yeah. Coming out this September very soon. Moving up to the next one here. Okay, coming from Lucky Fool Studio with Honkai Star Rail Beach Firefly. Beach, but she's completely Hadaka, but you do get a pair of free bikinis over there for $167 at 1x6 scale, releasing in September. Okay, I would say no. This isn't just a Hadaka body. I could have taken any random Hadaka body and swapped out the head, and it could be any anime or game character. So even for a cultured figure, this is way too low effort and I don't like it. That's the thing. Yeah. So $167 is over 20,000 yen equivalent. You could buy yourself a very nice PVC figure from Apex Toys, for example. Yeah, so they need to put in more effort than this, I guess. Moving on to the next one here, Azur Lane, 2 figures. The first one is a 1x4 scale Musashi by Cast Design Studio for $67, releasing in March next year. This Musashi is my third-party resin figure of the week compared to everything else I've covered so far for very obvious reasons. The funny part is that this exact figure went on pre-order at 1x4 scale as well, way back last year, almost a year ago by Absinthe Studio. Just that there was no price and no release date, just early bird pre-order. And then everything disappeared because, you know, what happened in China. And now the figure is back almost a year later at the same scale. And it is now by Cast Design Studio. The Absinthe Studio renamed themselves because recently I've never seen any new figures from Absinthe Studio anymore. When I think about it, yeah, not a single new figure from them in the recent months. Have they renamed themselves to Cast Design Studio? I'm hoping that is the case because if it is, this is going to turn out really good. And for that reason, yes, this is a good pre-order. Of course, there is also the possibility of another figure brand striking a deal with the artist Dish over here. They even explicitly mentioned the artist named Dish over here. This could be a collab and actually a licensed figure, even though it is not mentioned as such over here. But anyways, this is a great pre-order, I guess, as long as they don't screw up the face. But if it is really Absinthe Studio behind the scenes, it is only good news. Yeah. Moving on to the next Azur Lane figure, like what the heck is this? Okay, so from Ship Girl Studio, we have a 1x6 scale St. Louis at $192, December 2025 release. I know that St. Louis is really thick and hot, but they enlarged the Opie and the S. In fact, one single boob there is bigger than the face itself, and now the head looks so undersized. It feels like a 1x8 scale head on a 1x6 scale body. And the proportions is just so weird. Damn, this is way too exaggerated. And for that reason alone, even though the rest of the figure is really nice, I can't recommend this one. At least now we have a really nice St. Louis figure from Alter or Elegant for you to choose from. You don't have to get this one, but what the heck, man? Yeah, and the last figure for today comes from Blue Archive, also by Lucky Fool Studio. This planar figure at 1x6 scale is available in standard version, around $230, and deluxe version, $289, where you can cast her off, 100% Hadaka. That's a good news. So $289 is really expensive for a 1/6 scale, but hey, you get to undress a lolly, so all is fair, I guess. And compared to that Firefly figure earlier, this one I can recommend actually if you like her. Yes. So this figure also went on pre-order almost a year ago, and then yeah, no news, and now finally she is back with a price and release date coming out this September. So there we go. And that is all for figures on pre-order this week. This is a long one because we have so many stuff on the genuine side. Yeah, really good week overall. So until then, I hope you found this video enjoyable or informative. If it is a yes, give it a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And I will see you soon. Thanks again and goodbye.